te deixa solto. Mistura um pouco do produto que eu te entorpeço, te deixa no louco. Deixa pra lá esse orgulho, pra passar a brisa, deitar mais um pouco. Mas se levar de eu perfuro, anda uma casa carregando meu jogo.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Aaliyah and this is my first YouTube video ever, so I'm so excited to have you here with me. I want to kind of explain why I decided to make this channel and introduce myself a little bit, tell you a little bit about myself. I started this channel because I wanted to kind of do it as a gift to myself. I'm 22 years old now, I'm a mom to a little boy, and I have spent like most of my life dedicated towards like community work, activism, basically fighting for rights, helping people, mutual aid, all of those types of things. And I don't know, I have really loved my time doing that, and I don't think that my time doing that stuff is done whatsoever. However, in the past few years, I've been in some really like terrible situations. I've been through so much. I honestly can't even talk about the things that I've been through yet. Hopefully I will be able to one day, because I think that it will make a very powerful testimony, but right now I just don't have the courage to do all that. Anywho, I've just gone through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've had to consume a lot of other people's trauma as well as trying to deal with my own trauma, and I don't know, I've just been so stuck in this like savior mode, strong black woman mode, mommy mode. I'm always the one who's, you know, having to give and help and give and help and give and help. Somebody always needs me. And I've been pretty traumatized in my experience in the past few years. And so now I feel like it's time for me to just kind of take a step back and focus on myself and focus on healing myself instead of focusing so hard on trying to heal the world. Is one thing that I've really learned is that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and I feel like I've been trying to pour from an empty cup for so long that now I'm kind of like being forced, like my body is forcing me to take a step back and focus on me. So I'm really hoping that this channel will give me that space to be myself without having to be the strong one, give me a spot to be vulnerable, to have somewhere to document my progress and just my journey, and also hopefully be able to find people who have gone through similar things as me or are going through similar things as me, or maybe just being able to find a new way to spread my light that feels truly authentic to me and who I am now, right? Because something that I've also struggled with, I feel like, is I've been trying so hard to get back to who I used to be. That's what I've said for the longest time. Like I just want to feel normal again. I just want to get back to that girl again. But the reality is that like after you've been severely traumatized, like you are a new person, you know, like you cannot have the expectations of going back to who you used to be, because that person is no longer there. The person that you used to be didn't experience all of this trauma. Therefore, you can never have that girl back. I think that I've finally gotten to a place where I can make peace with that and start to figure out who this new Aaliyah is, what this new Aaliyah needs, and all of the things that go into being the best version of myself now. I just think that I am outgrowing myself and my life in every single way, shape, or form. And it's sad. It's bittersweet because I don't want to leave my community behind per se, or like, you know, forget about everything that I've been doing or have done and the people, you know, that I've been working with or for, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, like, I know whenever it's time for me to move on from something, or when it's time for me to isolate, or just when it's time for the next chapter. And right now, like, I feel so stuck and I don't want to feel that anymore. I have so many things that I need to work on on myself before I can even think about trying to pour into anybody else again. For example, like I'm really, really struggling right now with trusting like literally anybody because I was so traumatized by men and women and I've watched people literally watch me suffer, you know, help me suffer, you know, so like I don't know, I've just been through a lot and I hate that I've been through what I've been through because it really, really messed up my trust with people. I really, really have my guard up with everybody. Like I don't know, I don't trust anybody who wants to be friends with me. I don't trust anybody who's asking, you know, too many questions. I don't know. I don't trust somebody, even opportunities getting thrown my way. I'm so traumatized by people that I just feel like everything is a setup, and I really hate that for me. And I don't want to be that way anymore. I don't want to be operating out of this like fight or flight, protecting myself mode all of the time because that is the best way to self-sabotage. And I just need to really heal from the things that I've been through before I can fully step back into that world. I want to believe that there are good women and men in this world, and those things, just those core things were ripped away from me, and I know that it's going to be a journey to get those things back, but I know that I can't heal in the same environment where I got sick. So another reason why I made this account is because I think that whenever you've gone through a significant amount of trauma or you've been like hurt by people over and over again, it's really easy to go fully into this protection mode, and a lot of times that can mean like literally isolating yourself completely, hiding yourself away from the world and dimming your own light. And I have a tendency of falling into that. Like, you know, when things are not right in my life, I would much rather just be alone. Like I would rather just be alone, not talk to anybody, shut down everything. Like I shut down, and I don't want to do that this time. Like I don't want to allow myself to do that. So I think that this is a really good way for me to still, you know, do me without having so much pressure from people who constantly want me to be this strong, perfect person all the time. And I'm only human, and not only that, I am just 22 years old, and so sometimes I need a soft place to land too. At 22 years old, or when you're like in your early 20s, I think that there's so much pressure to have it all together. You know, you gotta be in college, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You should be married and have 5 kids and have a house with a white picket fence. All of that pressure, and if you're somebody who is not doing any of those things, like me, I mean, I have a kid and a home and all of that, but I was also a teen mother. But I did not go to college. I don't plan to go to college. And I think that there's a lot of pressure on those of us who just don't have things figured out. But I think it's important to remember that not everybody's journey is supposed to look the same. In fact, like that typical, you know, journey is very outdated. And at 22, or like even in your early 20s in general, like we're not supposed to have life completely figured out. Anyone who tries to tell you that they do or did at your age is either lying or they had all the help in the world, because it's hard out here. Like it's hard out here. So I wanted to say that I think people who have been super traumatized also feel like they need to heal, work on healing, shadow work, you know, nervous system regulation, all of these different things. And I recently came across a quote that said that if you have been severely traumatized, please don't dedicate your life to healing, dedicate it to having the utmost joy, doing the most with your life. And, you know, not everything has to be about healing. So that's something that I'm really going to try, that is something that I'm going to really try and implement in my life. Of course, I want to do the work to heal, but at the same time, like, I don't want healing to be all that I am. And I think that we all should kind of take that advice. Like, healing does not need to be everything that we are. We also deserve to not care about healing. We deserve to have our moments, our outbursts. We deserve to have joy. We deserve to have a great time and not even think about any of that. We don't always need to be analyzing our behavior or why we did this or why we did that. I also think that like New Age spirituality really makes us think that every single little emotion ties back to something that's unhealed within us. And sometimes people are just terrible people. You know, like sometimes that thing made you upset because it was genuinely upsetting. You know, it has nothing to do with something being unhealed in you. Maybe that person is just genuinely a terrible person. Actually, 9 times out of 10, I feel like that's what it is. It's just important that you find your balance. And that's what I'm trying to do, find my balance with that. And yeah, in the next 6 months, I really hope that I can look back at this video and all of the other videos that I'm going to make after this and see real progress. Like, I really want to be working on my mental and physical health, make sure that I'm in therapy every day, make sure that I am doing my self-care daily, my hygiene daily, just really taking care of myself, my home, keeping my home clean, keeping my family nice and happy, just living a peaceful and joyful life. I honestly have so many things that I want to work on. I feel like it all comes down to just taking my power back. I feel like people took so much from me, my love, my trust, my happiness, you know, so many things, and I want to get those things back because I want to be able to see the good in people again. I want to be able to be optimistic about life again. I know that I have a very unique story, a very unique testimony, a very unique purpose for being in this world, and I have a light to shine. I just feel like I need to figure out the way to do that, and whatever I've been doing isn't really working for me anymore. Having to worry so much about coming to save somebody, or you know, like, I just want to be worried about saving myself, helping myself, my life, and what I have going on personally. And it's really hard to do that. Like, it's really hard to take a step back from people that you know, or situations that you know need you, or, you know, but like I said at the beginning, you can't pour from an empty cup. So sometimes you have to make the hard decision and take care of yourself, because everybody benefits from that in the long run. Even though I've been through so much, and even though like I can't even really like utter out the words yet to talk about the things that I've been through, I somehow understand very deeply that there's been a lesson to be learned from each and every one, and that of each and every situation that I've been through, and that I am so much stronger and wiser, and I just have such a more powerful testimony because of what I've been through. So I know that one day I will get to a place where I can really spread that light and share that story. Until then, I am just going to take things day by day and document my process and my journey, and yeah, just kind of chill. And like I said, it can be very bittersweet because growth comes with so much loss. You cannot grow unless you are losing something, someone, some habit. There's got to be loss with it, and you got to get comfortable with that. I think it's also important to understand that not every loss has to be like a huge deal or like on bad terms. Like, if there's people in your life that are no longer serving you, you don't have to have a big blow up with them. You don't have to tell them that they're no longer serving a purpose in your life. Like, you can just simply move on, whether that means blocking them, whether that means just slowly stop talking to them, or if it's not a person but like a habit. Truly, like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves that we make it a bigger deal than it is. But like, you can choose to do one small thing every single day to try and switch up your habits, or, you know, start a better habit. It doesn't have to always be so complicated. And I think that whenever you're used to living a life full of chaos and complications and trauma, that it's easy to kind of self-sabotage and make things way more complicated than they need to be, because that feels so normal. So if you're in a situation like that, just remember that everything will work out how it's supposed to, but there's certain things that you have to let go of. You just have to get comfortable. Change is the only constant in this world, and the sooner that you get comfortable with that, the sooner you will be able to easily revamp your life time and time again, no matter what happens to you, no matter what's thrown at you. I have had so much taken from me, but the one thing that cannot be taken from me is who I am and my heart, and I refuse to let this evil world turn me into an also evil person. I really hope that you will stick around. I know I'm not the most exciting person. I'm kind of just chill. I'm not, you know, super high energy, but I'm real, and I can give you that. My future self, I know that this is the beginning of something so beautiful, and I'm so proud of you. You've been through so much, but you are only going to go up from here, and I just can't wait to see what you do with your life. Anyone else who may be watching this who feels like they really resonate with what I'm saying, just know that you are not alone. If nobody else is there for you, I'm there for you. Comment down below, find me on socials, whatever, hit me up, and I will be your friend, and we can be accountability buddies, because yeah, I'll be documenting my journey, and I don't know if I'm going to post every day, every week, multiple times, I don't know, but I really hope y'all will stick around, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, love, and blessings to all.
Pra te deixar solto. Mistura pouco do produto que eu te entreguei, te deixa no louco. Deixa pra lá esse orgulho pra passar a brisa, deitar mais